evening and welcome to the online darts Fallout Bar after night 12 of the 2024 Premier League. And it's only once a year I get to say this to my colleague on the stream, but ahoy there, Cam McFarlane.
Ahoy! Yes, that is. We don't get it very often. We've got to take our small pleasures when they come. We're long removed now from the Liam Gallagher jokes and the rest of it. So we don't get many of them these days.
No, we can have
it was Rotterdam tonight.
And or anywhere.
It's a couple of weeks since I've been on. This feels a bit odd. I feel like a withdrawal symptoms from the Fallout Bar.
Yeah, it's been a few weeks now since you and I have sat here together. And what I will say, and it's me blowing my own trumpet, but I think that was a little bit of a smoother start in terms of getting all the little videos playing.
Beautiful, and the logo, that, mate. Absolutely didn't miss a beat there.
Yeah, we're on the stream. The logos are in the right place. I still have to have a quick double check that we are live and it's not I've pressed the right buttons.
So many times I've done on the odd occasion where I've been allowed to drive this show. Yeah, constantly going, are we actually live? Is it still going?
Yeah, we're there and we're live and we're talking to everybody. We have got a few in already. I can see we've got quite a few viewers. We've got some folks already getting involved in the chat room. Video Smurf, Maliki, these guys are in already. If you are watching, please feel free to get involved in the chat. We'll have a chat about what's happened this evening in Rotterdam, how that affects the league table. And then later on in the show, we'll come to some predictions for night 13 next week in Liverpool, I believe. Are we in Liverpool next week, aren't we?
It could be Rotterdam or anywhere, mate. Liverpool.
Could be anywhere. Liverpool.
He's gone already.
Yeah, it's too much. There's too many opportunities and we should take them. Just quick early doors, bit of housekeeping first and foremost. We, unlike this evening's stage, in fact, due to betting regulations in the Netherlands, are sponsored by BetMGM, title sponsors of this year's 2024 Premier League.
That, isn't it? Considering that it's not illegal to have a bet over there. There are plenty of betting firms that sponsor football teams over there, and also the World Series of Darts is sponsored by Jack's Casinos, and that's branded all over everywhere. But apparently we can't have MGM on the stage, and I'm not sure why.
Bit of a strange one, I think. That, yeah, very much. But we, on the other hand, are allowed to display proudly our sponsors for this Premier League, BetMGM, who are continuing with their double your odds offer on a Thursday evening, which I believe, Mr. McFarlane, you took advantage of and actually managed to get the bet up tonight, didn't you?
Finally, I managed to get one up. Considering I've donated £5 to BetMGM, which is the maximum you can put on the double your odds bet every week on the darts on a Thursday night. I've donated £5 every week. We're 12 weeks in. I won £66 tonight, so I am £6 in the profit after 12 weeks. It's not going to make me a millionaire at this rate, but I am up.
Well done. Congratulations. Please do remember, folks, you can get access to that offer every Thursday. You can double your odds up to a £5 bet on accumulators on the Premier League of Darts. Please do, however, remember to gamble responsibly. BeGambleAware.org. We've got a few more in the chat room now as well, which is good. Matthew's in, Dougie's in, David is in as well. Everybody getting involved. We will come and have a little bit of chat with you all shortly. If you are watching and want to get involved in the chat room, we make some funny little rules on our channel where you can only get involved in the chat room if you are subscribed. So please do go ahead, like and subscribe to the channel, and you can get involved with everybody else in the chat room. I think with that, we should maybe start talking about darts. I think we've got a 5-minute intro there, which is quite nice.
We run out of puns now. We've run out of puns.
I'm sure we'll find a few more as the evening goes on. And I think, it was a bit of it was a strange night all round tonight. There was, we didn't see this week, if we're brutally honest, any sort of blockbuster performances. We haven't yet got the stats for them, the mean average for the evening, but I think it's probably the lowest one yet. The opening game of the evening, Cam, was a bit of an interesting one where Luke Littler's managed again a good solid average over 102, but he's managed to somehow lose that match. And there weren't a lot of people picking Michael Smith to come through even this quarter final, but Michael Smith, a 6-3 winner in this opening game.
Yeah, it was probably on standard the best game of the night. It didn't particularly feel that way watching it. I wasn't sort of blown away with it that it was unbelievable as I was watching it, but the stats stack up pretty well when you look at them in isolation afterwards, and it was just really solid from Michael Smith. I thought there was no faffing about on the outer ring. He scored solidly enough, and when he had his chances, he took them out. Littler got off to a flyer, didn't he, with the 164? But
and that was and again, you never quite know with these Premier League games because let's be honest, the standard or the ceiling of all 8 of these players is so high. Granted, some of them, well, good 50% of them are out of form at the moment, or what they consider top form, but that first break of throw with a 164 gets the juices flowing a little bit and you get a little bit excited. And I think in reality, we probably got the most exciting part of this game over with very quickly. We did see them exchange a couple of breaks of throw early doors. And I think it was just that, Michael Smith, he ended up 6 out of 10, 60% on the doubles. And that's pretty much what got him through. I mean, Luke didn't make too many mistakes on the outer ring. He was 3 from 8, just shy of 40%. But on this short format, that's going to get you over the line if you're both averaging about the ton, isn't it?
Yeah, it's timing, isn't it, as much as anything. Like you say, Luke wasn't horrific on the outer ring by any means. We've seen a lot worse up there tonight.
We've seen people win games comfortably in this Premier League with those statistics, haven't we?
Yeah, absolutely. And it shows you sort of how well he was sort of scoring to give him. But even with how well he was scoring, he only gave himself 8 shots at a double in the match. And it is about the timing of it in those scores. And I think that's what really made the difference in this one. When Smith was hitting his big scores, it was to put him in positions where he was going to give himself opportunities to win the leg, whereas Littler was possibly hitting them a little bit too late in legs at times where it didn't really matter so much at that time because Smith was already there to wrap it up.
Yeah, and I think, whilst that is a quarter-final loss for Luke Littler, which we haven't seen very many of this season at all. In fact, that was only his second quarter-final loss of this year's campaign.
Ridiculously consistent, isn't it?
Yeah, it's bonkers. But and I know, spoiler alert, because you know the results if you're watching this show. But he did benefit. Let's be honest. He came into the night in position number 1, and if he went out in the quarterfinals, was numbers 2 and 3. One of numbers 2 or 3 making the final, which didn't happen. So he sort of got away with one today, Luke Littler, and that all the action really was in that mid-table. That mid-table era. But yeah, I thought Michael Smith looked very relaxed in that opening game. The pressure didn't seem to be showing at all, and it was a fairly comfortable win. Moving on, and I'm moving on with some delight in this one, Cam, because I've seen my predictions for this evening and I've seen your predictions for the evening. And I think we both managed to nail not only the winner, but the exact score, did we not?
Correct score for both of us on here. Yeah.
In the prediction competition. I think
that doesn't happen very often, does it?
It doesn't happen very often at all. But again, it sort of flattered to deceive a little bit, this one. It was, I think the headline that I'll take, and I'll let you have a go into it in a bit more detail, but surely the headline for this game is we've talked now for probably 2.5 months, maybe longer, about the doubling of Gerwyn Price. And a 60%, 6 out of 10 on the doubles is maybe exactly what he needed at this stage in the tournament, regardless of how the rest of the night went for him.
Yeah, definitely, especially against Rob Cross. Like you can't miss opportunities against Rob Cross because he will punish you. He's one of those players that if you're even slightly off it, he's going to be there to clean it up. But yeah, there's a pattern emerging here, isn't there? 2 games in, but 6 out of 10 on your doubles wins your matches. Obviously, 6 is always going to win your matches because you need 6 to win it. But getting it up at that 60% is that difference, isn't it? Like, I mean, making sure that you're giving yourself at least 10 shots at a double is going to give you the opportunity to go and win it. And again, up against someone in Rob Cross who has played solidly, little bit off him in the averages, but played solidly, over 40% himself on his double. So he's not been poor by any stretch, but again, only giving himself 7 opportunities. And if you only give yourself that many chances, it's very, very tough to win games. And that's where I guess he was just clinical when he needed to be and went on and, like I say, he managed to get himself a win, which you felt like he played well and could kick on from.
Without a doubt, and I think, and we'll come to the table a little bit later on, but like we said for the last couple of weeks, and we looked at, if Rob Cross wins, and we know that all these players have a night win in them, maybe 7 of them do, this year.
We'll come on to the next one.
But we talked about whether or not Rob Cross, if he wins a night, he's right in the mix, and Gerwyn Price now is just a point behind. After, I know it's only 1 win today, but he's now just a point behind. Sorry, he's a point ahead. Apologies. He's a point ahead now of Rob Cross, and so then now Gerwyn Price is right in the mix where he still needs a night win, but if he gets a night win, he's in that mix again. He's towards that shootout, but it is starting just to try and tighten up that little bit.
Yeah, I think there was an opportunity today to get himself into that mix where 1 more night win probably puts him in there. But I think we'll come on to it, obviously, but everyone knows that he obviously didn't win the night. Otherwise, they wouldn't be watching us. So with him not winning it tonight, he still feels like he's 2 night wins away from even sort of slightly competing, and he's probably a little bit out of it now. But that win tonight, take a couple of points off other people that went on to make semis and to make finals and to win the night. If you take a couple more points off them that are in that battle for 3rd, 4th, 5th, then he had a chance to get in there. But again, that gap's opened up a little bit further now.
It certainly has. Now, from me getting a prediction bang on the nose to me having to put my hands up and say, well, I tried to do something a little bit out there. And
I felt foul of that a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, and I was made to look the fool that I am. Don't know really where to start with this one. 6-2 win for Nathan Aspinall. I suppose that the best I can really say, Nathan Aspinall was very solid. The 110 checkout was lovely, average and scored well, over 50% on the doubles, almost the perfect quarterfinal, isn't it? Like in order to play yourself.
Absolutely did a job, didn't he? Like, he just went in there and did a job on someone who, let's be honest, was crap. Like, he was absolutely rubbish up there tonight. And he's been playing a lot better recently. We've given him a bit of credit for the fact that even though he's not won very often, he has been playing a lot better. That was rubbish tonight. And that was using the darts that we all think are his best darts to throw up there as well.
Yeah, it was by a long way. And I know there is more to games of darts than averages, but it was by a long way the worst that we've seen in the Premier League so far. And the next 2, at least, that I can see on a quick skim, of displays of averages this year have been from Peter Wright as well. But a 77 average in this company, I mean, a 77 average wouldn't cut the mustard in a lot of top-end county matches.
No, to repeat, we had the sort of qualifiers for our singles tournament last night, and there were better averages than that in there. Yeah, and we're not even top division in our set of leagues.
No, and again, we'll do a bit of a look ahead to next week, but it doesn't bode well when you perform like that, and next week you have to play Michael van Gerwen. I know Michael's got his own problems. It doesn't really
matter who he plays at the 7. All of them are miles better than he is right now, especially if he plays like that.
That is a very, very fair point. And I think we don't need to dwell on that one much longer. And we can move on to our final quarter-final of the evening, which I thought was a much more interesting and enjoyable game to watch. He got me a little bit excited at times, and there was some really, really interesting moments in it as Luke Humphries got the job done over Michael van Gerwen. Obviously, Luke came out to a raft of boos, which I think is exactly what he and everybody else expected.
If you're not expecting that, you need to have a word with yourself.
You're a lunatic. But I had this, so I picked this as a Luke Humphries win. If I'm completely honest, I had it as a bit wider margin. I picked it as a 6-2.
I went the other way completely. I think I had Van Gerwen either 6-4 or 6-3. I can't remember.
Wow. And I think if it hadn't been for the 149, I might have been all right with that 6-2. I think I'd have probably been bang on the nose. The 162 pulled him out of trouble, and then managed to get himself another hold in there as well.
I honestly thought that 149 and then breaking in the leg afterwards, I thought I was right in at that point. I thought I had a real good chance of being in the right sort of position. I think I had 6-4 because I know I went over 9.5 legs in my bet. So I assume I'd gone 6-4 with the prediction. But then he then goes and loses that next leg to go back to 2 each by missing chances at tops. And I think that's when Humphrey just got on a run, and you still look like you were in it, to be fair, when he went 5-2 up, and you look like your prediction still had a real good chance. The 149 was magic, and it was one of those moments that in that arena, with that many people there supporting him, it's just a bit of magic. He always finds one of them, even if he gets beat Van Gerwen, he always finds one moment in that arena where he just gives everyone sort of what they want at that point.
He certainly does, and I think it was a professional performance from Luke, wasn't it? It was a very professional performance. He turned up, he did what he needed to do to win without really too many bells and whistles on.
Just what we expect from him now, isn't it? Like, he's averaged 100. Is it 5 180s? He's beaten one of the greatest players of all time in his home arena
with his B game,
with a minimum of fuss. And that is just how he plays the game. There's just nothing really. Just nothing phases him, and he just makes everything look easy. And that is the biggest compliment I think you can pay him.
Oh, without doubt.
Than the fact that he spent all night moaning about the wind. Which we're going to have to touch on. We're going to have to talk on it at some point. All 8 players played in that wind, and there was one player that moaned more than the rest of them about the wind constantly throughout his games.
I think so. The view that's presented from Online Darts this evening is probably like not as balanced as it could be, because even in our little WhatsApp group chat,
it was me and you.
There were quite a lot of people that were coming at them with sympathy and various different other things. And I think you and I were probably the main voices of, come on now, it's your job. Yeah. Get on with it. Like, it's not always perfect. It's the equivalent of, hearing a manager get interviewed after a match and watching football and they're moaning about the pitch being a bit.
When Jurgen Klopp starts moaning about the grass being too long or it being too dry.
I've got very, very little time for it. Not at this level, and I don't really entertain it as an excuse, to be perfect.
Me and you are very much in the same camp. Like, they're all throwing at the same board. They're all throwing in the same conditions. It's not a bloody gale, is it? It's not. I know that certain people in the chat, Barsby, one of them who's in the arena, said it is a gale. It's not a gale, is it? Like, even if there is quite a big draft, it's not a gale. They're not at Augusta on Friday night when it was 45-mile-an-hour gusts of wind, are they? Like, they are stood there on a stage where there's a little bit of a draft. Just throw your dart slightly harder and it's going to go dead straight through it.
Yeah, I know. I couldn't agree more. I think that is very much my view on it, and I just think, come on, get on with it. Let's not moan. And I also don't buy this. Well, people say, well, it's like this there every year. Oh, well, less of an excuse then.
Well, No, don't give him an excuse by saying that because he's not played there before because he wasn't deemed good enough to get in it until this year.
Somebody should have told him.
Yeah, well, yeah, he obviously knows it's coming. I mean, and he won the bloody game. That's the biggest thing for him to be moaning about it. He won.
Correct. He certainly did.
Against someone who played in that arena loads of times.
However, it's time to let's put the draft to one side. Let's
put the draft
talk about what
down.
I think, in my humble opinion, was probably the most enjoyable game this evening. The game that I sort of enjoyed watching the most. The game that I felt had sort of the most potential to swing either way. I appreciate that after the Desmond, we didn't have a break of throw, but there were certainly opportunities for it. And I think this 6-5 between Michael Smith, who beat Gerwin Price, was a very, very entertaining game. But it did see the return of Price's doubling struggles, didn't it?
Yeah, 15 missed starts at double was the real thing. I've lost count of how many times this year I've sat on here or I've sat at home watching it and said, 6-7 legs into a match that Gezi should be off the stage by now. Like, he should have been 4-0 up. He should comfortably have been 4-0 up, and he should have been off the stage at 6-1 probably. And so many times that's happened this year. And he keeps losing. And he keeps getting embroiled in a battle, missing doubles, giving people chances when they're way out of a leg. And I just don't know what it is, because he looked great on the outer ring in the first game. And then this game, he just looked like he couldn't hit a barn door again. And I just don't know what it is, because he's scoring fantastic again. Like, he's scored really, really well again, like he has all year.
6-1-8, 13, 140s. He's at his power scoring, and I often just his power scoring was considerably further ahead than Michael Smith's.
Yeah, miles
Not
ahead.
often going to get to say that.
No, but again, he's got beaten by someone that's averaging 90, but just been more clinical on the outer ring, and he just keeps doing it. It's like watching Blackburn play football. Like, we played good football all season, and we just keep getting beat, even though we're playing well. And that's what he seems to keep doing to himself, and I just can't get my head around it. And I'm going to continue to back him to win the week, like I've done every week throughout the tournament in our predictions. And he'll keep letting me down, but I'll keep backing him and keep picking him every week.
Well, I shall look forward to that when we come to pick next week's results a bit later in the show, Cam, because I don't think many people will be on your side for him getting through his quarter. But I'm
not on my side at this point. I've had enough of myself picking it.
So moving into the second quarter final, and I mean, we get told often people moan at us for making football analogies, but to say that this
well, hang on a minute, we've got a Leeds fan in the chat. We did beat them on Saturday, and I'm gonna just point that out. Yes, Dougie, we did beat you on Saturday. Captain Smods once again.
Yes, well done. Yeah, another time Leeds have dropped my acca in recent weeks.
Never back the early kick-off. That's what Gandhi taught us. You know that.
Quite bloody right. But to use a football analogy, I don't think I would be far from accurate in describing this as a game of two halves. Because let's be honest, and I know that you are a solid, staunch Nathan Aspinall fan, and he is number 4 in the world, and he's playing some good darts, and he's played very well over the last 12 months. But at 4-1 up, Luke Humphries, when was the last time Luke Humphries lost a match when he was 4-1 up?
I don't know, 2019? I don't know. It feels a long, long time ago.
It doesn't feel like something that does happen, does it? It doesn't, Luke Humphries doesn't go 4-1 up in a race to 6 and then get beat. But then somehow, from racing to 4-1, he then doesn't win another leg. And Nathan Aspinall wins 5 on the spin. And I'm still not quite sure how it happened, Cam, if you've got maybe a little bit more insight than I have.
No, I've got none. The only insight
it was a thing that happened, and I'm not sure how.
The only insight I can give you is the one that Nathan Aspinall gave on stage after he spoiler alert, won the night. In that he said at 4-1 down, he thought he was kind of out of it at that point, and he got it back to 4-3, and he could see that Luke was doing this after his third dart and moaning about the wind again. And he said he just thought to himself at that point, he's clearly not happy here. I've got to jump on this, and I've got to go and that's exactly what he did. And I genuinely could not tell you the last time someone won 5 legs in a row against Luke Humphries. I don't think it's happened. Someone in the chat may know, because there's people that are a lot better on those sort of statistics than me and you might be.
And I'll tell you what, if it did happen, if and when the last time somebody did win 5 on the spin to beat Luke Humphries, they didn't do it averaging 97 with 30% on the doubles.
No, and they didn't do it against this version of Luke Humphries that we've seen.
They've had to do it averaging 103 at least, and doing 40% doubles.
Yeah, Nathan Aspinall would have had to play like he did at the weekend when he averaged 113. Usually,
that would have got it done. But no, it sort of came. It went completely under the radar because very much a game of two halves. Luke looked incredibly comfortable, and then it just. I don't know whether it could just be that his irritation with the situation got on top of him. I think there were 1 or 2 wasted darts. I think there was a couple of third darts that he just sort of let go of towards the board without really too much care. And I think Nathan, like you say, and if that's what he said, then you're right. He noticed that and knew that if he kept his composure and made every dart, played through every dart properly, didn't waste anything, then he created himself an opportunity, and full credit to him. He got the job done and created what, like, if we're really honest, that at this stage in the tournament, and I've not been critical of a lack of action in the last couple of weeks, but the last couple of weeks have been a little bit underwhelming in terms of darting quality. Now, what we are starting to see, and we're just getting, and we're ramping up a little bit, where those games in the mid-table are starting to get interesting and mean things when they come and play each other, because everybody's running out of opportunities now because there's only so many weeks left. And to see, and I know we've had a bit of a change in the league table now, but our 2 finalists now, Smith and Aspinall, came into this evening in positions number 4 and 5. When everybody just knows that number 4 is probably the most important. I'm not so sure it's a 2-horse race anymore after tonight and looking at the points, but we'll come to that in a little minute.
No.
But it's really the final that we want to see it at this stage in the tournament, isn't it? We want to see games that really mean something and can make a significant shuffle within the table.
Absolutely that. Like, it's exactly what I want to see. And I think it's just... You don't want a runaway winner at this point. You don't want the final every week to be Littler or Humphries or whoever it might be at the top of the table and go on and sort of run away with it. You want to see that the players that are playing for those last spots where there's going to be a real battle on. And like you say, it's probably 3-2 at the moment in terms of 3rd, 4th, and 5th. You want to see those 3 competing every week for every last point they can get, because that 1 point for winning a semi-final could be huge when it comes to the end of it.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, before we come to the table, we will have a little bit of a chat about the final, because I don't want to say underwhelmed because I quite enjoyed it, but so the real story I think of this final is that, Michael Smith's won the ball. He's come out. He's throwing first. Nathan's managed to break him in that opening leg. And then that is the only break of throw for the entirety of the game. Now, looking at the stats, and it's boring being a stats man, but Michael Smith he's averaged better than Nathan. He's scored better by all the metrics you want. He's done better on the checkouts. The 170 was sublime. It was like
both of them waiting on it.
gorgeous, that
I know,
170.
he took the opportunity off the commentators to say the phrase that you must say if Nathan Aspinall's on a 170, which is that he won his UK Open on a 170. Do you know?
Didn't get the chance, did they? They didn't get the opening for that one.
Chance away from them by pinging it first.
It's just that all that good work that Michael Smith did, he did on his own throw, and he wasn't able to really put the pressure on Nathan's throw, and because of that, we just saw repeated, 10 holds of throw on the spin that nobody could quite make any inroads after that first leg, could they? Neither of them.
No, exactly that. And I think it's a massive credit to Nathan Aspinall in this, that his scoring was so consistent all night in terms of not 180s, but 140s and tons, just constantly throughout the night, just kept himself ticking over and ticking over. And he just gave himself that opportunity to hold his throw constantly, because he was literally just consistently giving himself opportunities. You can see it again. You saw this in the semi-final as well. Once again, he's had 20 darts at a double. He's not particularly been very good on the outer ring, but he literally has just managed to give himself so many chances by scoring so consistently that it doesn't matter that he's missed 14 darts at a double.
No, and he's also, and as a Nathan Aspinall fan, you might not thank me for pointing this out, but we've talked a lot about Gezi. So Gerwyn Price came into this evening's competition with the second highest tournament average of everybody, and we know he's had a nightmare on his doubles, and we know he's come up against some monster performances, but I don't think, and I haven't got the time while we're live on the stream to start looking through every week and all of the numbers, but Nathan Aspinall tonight, just in terms of stats, and I know that averages don't tell the story, but Nathan's average 93, 97, and 95.
So
decent.
95 basically then, yeah, over the...
Decent. But he's played against averages of 77, 92, and 96. So, yes, he's done certainly in that last game to just keep Michael Smith at bay. And a lot of Smith's work was done on throw. He's almost had he's not really been pushed today, Nathan, has he?
No.
He's managed to get the night win, but he hasn't had to overcome what we've seen people have to overcome in previous weeks.
No, he's taken advantage of an opportunity, basically, which you just know he will always do. He's that sort of player. Like, he doesn't very often give up opportunities. Like, he does a bit like you said with Humphries in the semi-final, where that last dart was getting wasted a few times, where he's just sort of chucking it at the board aimlessly. You never ever see Nathan Aspinall waste a dart. Like, he throws every dart like it's the most important dart he's ever thrown.
Yeah, and that was, that's definitely, what got him through. Certainly that comeback against Humphries, because we did see a few wasted darts in there. Not so much with Smith, but yeah, a really good night all round, I think, from Nathan Aspinall. Now, I do think we might be able shortly, certainly in the next few minutes, to be able to hear a little bit from Nathan Aspinall's interview. I don't think it's quite ready just yet, but we will get it to you through the course of this evening's show, folks. Don't worry, we will be playing you as we try and do a small excerpt from Nathan Aspinall's interview, but you will find all of the full length interviews, so to speak, on our YouTube channel. Let me just have a look and see if it's in there just yet in the back end. I can see a Nathan Aspinall.
You don't get things like this on Sky, do you?
You don't, and it's because, you know why? It's because Sky take last week's interviews out. That's why. Right, perfect. He's there, ladies and gentlemen. Let's now hear from this evening's winner, Nathan Aspinall.
You all know, I can't say too much, but all I'm saying is it was bad conditions. But it's the same for both players. Maybe I keep winning it because I throw heavy darts. that might be the trick. But it was tough conditions tonight. But I think obviously the players were moaning a bit, but I don't think we dealt with it too bad. I thought we just got on with the game. But yeah, it was tough tonight, but I don't care. I won 2 out of 2 here. Yeah, very windy on stage. Conditions weren't great, but I think it's not just Rotterdam, to be fair. The big arenas, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of area, and people are in and out going back to the bar and so forth, so the doors are shut in. So yeah, it is windy on that stage, but it's the same for all players. Rotterdam is probably the worst out of the 16 venues. I've not played the O2 yet, so I can't comment on that. But it is bad, but you just got to get on with it. There's nothing you can do. It's not ideal, but who cares? I keep winning in the wind. Yeah. You tell them that. Yeah. I can't comment.
Your back, the wind.
Pardon?
The wind in your back.
Yeah, it is. It is what it is. I think I purely think it's down to the size of the venue. Yeah. I think the venue is that big. I think doors are opening, doors are shutting, people are walking in and out, people are jumping up. It's huge. It's absolutely massive out there. You know what I mean? And you know, if you're a singer or whatever on that stage, the wind doesn't affect you. I think darts is the only thing that happens in this arena where wind will play a part. So they ain't going to change the whole arena for one night of darts, are they? Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's not great, but I can't say what I'm about to say, but yeah, it happens.
Well, that's great from that, Nathan. Detailed technical analysis of the weather, not of the darts.
That's usually my bit, isn't it? As we were just saying before. It's it's not great, but
it's clearly, and I know we make light of it a little bit, and I will continue to do so. But it's clearly something that's on the mind of the player. If he's won a night and he comes and gets interviewed, and that's the thing he wants to talk about, it's clearly at the forefront of people's mind. What I do think, and I didn't sort of say it earlier on, but I do think it's the price you pay for having big events in arenas, because that's what arenas are like. Like it's the price you pay, isn't it?
Well, yeah, we had it with Gob said it in the chat, like using AFAS Live that they use for the World Series of Darts finals. It's all well and good saying that, but in the AFAS Live, it probably holds 2,000. There must have been 10,000 in there tonight. For the sake of what that night's making you, and the event that it is, and the spectacle that it is, you're going to have to put up with the fact that there might be a little bit of wind in there.
Correct. And they all got paid, didn't they? Got paid.
And some of them got paid more because they actually went up there and didn't moan about the wind and just threw some darts and went and won a night.
Just to bring to an end this evening, as we move on, and before we say ahoy to Liverpool, we will have a quick turn. I don't yet have, yet infers that I may one day have the technical nous to share the league table on the screen. So I will continue to not have the technical ability to do so, but I will give a quick run down now. Luke Humphreys has moved himself into top spot. I believe that is on the basis of having won one more night than Luke Littler, because both players sit at the top of the table in positions 1 and 2 on 26 points. Nathan Aspinall with tonight's win moves himself up to 23 into third spot. So Michael van Gerwen now finds himself on 22 points in fourth position, only 2 points ahead of Michael Smith, who was in fifth on 20. We've then got Gezi Price on 12 points in number 6 spot. 7th is Rob Cross on 11 points. And at the foot of the table, as ever, is Peter Wright on a lowly 4 points. So that is, like, if we don't see Gezi or Rob Cross win a night really, really quickly, it's definitely 3 going into 1. Do you feel now, Cam?
Yeah, I think so. 3 into 2, isn't it?
Sorry, yes, 3 into 2. Apologies.
Yeah. I don't see that it's anything other than that. As I said, I'm going to religiously carry on backing Gerwin Price to win a night, because I just feel that he's too good not to at some point, and he's actually playing too well not to, despite the fact that he can't hit a barn door on the outer ring. But even if he does now, one night win's not going to be enough now. He's got to win 2 nights minimum and pick up another couple of points in the other 2 weeks as well.
And there's not many nights left, is there?
There's not. We're getting down to the business end of this now. it's going to take a serious run. It's going to be 2, maybe 3 night wins for either of them two to get in there now, because everyone else is still picking up points and play each other towards the end of it as well. So I know Aspinall and Smith is week 15 and quite possibly could end up being week 16 as well, because obviously they will play based on the spots in the table in week 16. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to go and win nights, because other people that are in those spaces of 3 and 4 and 5 are going to be picking up points because they're playing each other.
This is the thing. Yeah, somebody's going to keep picking up 2 points. You can't have everybody not picking up points every week. It's going to continue to move and drag its way away from you, isn't it?
And it's looking like it's going to be a lot more than we thought. We thought 24 was the magic number at the start of the season. 26 might not be enough now. Yeah, correct. And that's going to be that is going to change week on week, and we will review that, because we will continue to be here for the rest of the tournament on a Thursday night with BetMGM. So, will it be unlucky night 13 for some as we move to the M&S Bank Arena in Liverpool? That's a crap name for an arena, isn't it? And the M&S Bank. It's still the Echo, isn't it? It's a bit like the
MEN, isn't it?
Well, yeah. What's it now? The AO Arena that it is now. It's still the MEN. It'll always be the MEN.
Yeah, same as the National Indoor Arena in Birmingham. This is where these are the names of these places.
We will
so we go to Liverpool
call them
next
what
week.
they've always been called, and
I'm going to make sure I write mine down, because I'm quite tired of getting one set of predictions in on a Thursday, doing another set of predictions on a Monday, and trying to remember any of them to put my predictions into the prediction game.
I'll put them in my phone again, and then we've got them.
Good lad. So, opening game next week. Quite an exciting one, this. Luke Littler against Gerwin Price. If you are in the chat room, please don't forget that you can get involved. You can be ridiculed along with me and Cam for getting them wrong. Where are we going, Cam? With
the good thing, if you are in the chat room, is no one will keep a record of what you've put. People do keep a record of what we've put, and we do get named and shamed.
Where are we going with Littler Price?
Well, there's only one place I can go, because I've staunchly stuck my flag to the wall that Gerwin Price is gonna win the night. So I can only go one place with this, and I'm going to set Price to win 6-4.
Well, I think you might be a madman.
It wouldn't be the first time that's been said.
No. Now, what do I think? He's won it, then he's made a final. He's gone out in the first round. No, the pattern says Luke Littler has to win this. He'll win it 6-3. 6-3 will be my prediction. Let's have a little look and see what the chat room thinks. Malachi has got Littler. Oh, he's copied off me. He's winning 6-3. Daz has got Littler winning 6-4. Dougie is with you with Price. He's gone Price with a 6-5 victory. And the video Smurth has gone 6-4, I believe, to Littler on that one. So I think, to be fair, it's a little bit closer than I thought in terms of the predictions. But it's an interesting game. I'm quite looking forward to seeing that. Game number 2 takes the leader of now we see one plays third now, as Luke Humphreys takes on tonight's winner, Nathan Aspinall. What do you think on this one, Cam?
I don't know on this one. I'm a bit stuck on it. It feels like it's odd to go against the man who's now top of the table. But I quite fancy Aspinall here. I just think he's got himself into a little rhythm of winning games. I think he nicks it 6-5.
Interesting. Well, I'm going to disagree with you again. Because I backed Luke to win tonight, and I thought we were in for a monster performance from him, because he was bang average in Manchester, getting beat by Michael Smith. And then he was all right.
Have we Have we checked the weather forecast for the M&S Bank Arena just
No, we
in
haven't.
case? Just
I
in
hope
case
nobody-
Humphries might be in trouble again.
Nobody leaves a bloody door open. And he was average in Manchester. He was average in Birmingham, and I thought the Humphries that we have at the minute, this world number one and this reigning world champion, doesn't play average 3 weeks on the spin or
No.
2 weeks on the spin. And I just thought, well, he's due, isn't he? He's due to turn up and average 105 3 games in a row and absolutely demolish everybody. And I maintain that that's still due. So I'll go Humphries 6-3 with that one. The video Smurf has got Humphries getting revenge, and he's got a 6-3 win. Daz has got a 6-3 Aspinall win there as well. Malachy has got Humphries winning 6-4, as has Dougie. So we're probably leaning as a group more towards Humphries than the Asp. But based on previous weeks, I think it could be a really interesting one, that one. Is this just
I don't think
how many?
we're going to have any outliers on this one.
We got Peter Wright against Michael Van Gerwen. I'm happy to go straight in on this one with a 6-1 MVG victory.
Yeah, I think if we don't get a unanimous decision here, to coin a boxing term, that something's wrong. We've had a horror judging card if someone's got Peter Wright.
If someone's got Peter Wright for next week in the chat room, I'm reporting you as a troll.
Correct, absolutely.
You are trolling.
You will no longer be able to follow us. It's not happening. We don't want you. Yeah, I'm going to be slightly more generous than you, but I think it's 6-2. I still think it's a wide margin.
Well, 6-2 very much looks to be at the minute the overwhelming majority pick. So Daz has also gone with a 6-2 win, as has Malachy, as has the Video Smurf. Dougie's given Wright one more than anybody else. Dougie's gone with a 6-3 MVG victory. And then I think there's some really interesting games next week. And this is interesting because Michael Smith is so close now. He's right in that mix. But Rob Cross is a big performance away from being in the mix. So Michael Smith against Rob Cross. I let you go first on the first two, didn't I? So I'll go on this. And I'm going to stick probably, I'm in a pattern now of, a broken clock's wrong twice a day. So I'm sticking with a few of my...
It's right twice a day. It's wrong most of the day.
Correct. I'm wrong most of the day. That's how it works. I'll go with a Rob Cross 6-5. Goes all the way, deciding leg. Rob Cross wins 6-5.
Rob Cross keeps his hopes alive. I don't think he does. I think Smithy's going to be right up for this. Fairly local one for him to home in Liverpool. I think he knows now that he's right in this battle and that it is a real battle between three of them for these last two spots. I thought he played pretty well tonight. I think that carries on. He just looks a little bit more comfortable up there, and I think he wins 6-4.
I think it'd be interesting to see what happens this weekend. Obviously, we've got Euro Tour this weekend. It'd be interesting to see what form these players find over the weekend, and who can carry what through. Price, I think, more so than anybody else, because he is the man that probably needs to find not so much scoring form, just to be a bit more comfortable with those doubles. In the chat room, we've got Dougie going with a 6-4 Bully Boy win. Daz has gone 6.
I like that prediction. I love someone that goes a little bit extra with the prediction.
6-5 with a 9 data in it. He's not telling us who's throwing the 9 data, but he is saying that there will be a 9 data. Malachy has got Smith with a 6-3 victory, and Video Smurf has got Smith with a 6-5 victory. Interesting stuff. And if we get those results, or if we get even half of those results, then we'll be having an even more intriguing conversation this time next week about what the league table looks like, because we could see some players cut further adrift, and we could also see players with a Q, a capital Q next to their name, booking their place at finals night in the O2 Arena on, is it the 23rd of May? It is. It's the 23rd of May. And a little bit of a heads up, we're thinking about doing something a little bit interesting for that one as well. We might do a little bit of a longer, more extended show. So that's a little bit of something to look forward to. Bit of work to do in the background to see what we can do, but hopefully a little bit more news on that soon. And with that, I think that's a bit of a wrap for today, isn't it, Cam? I will thank you very much.
You've not picked your winner, and I
Oh,
have.
God, well done, well done. You totally. This is because I've got work in the morning. And I'm thinking I'm away to my bed shortly. Right. So same for everybody in the chat room as well. I just only want two names. I want a finalist and a winner. I want who beats who in the final.
Liverpool's Price beats Michael Smith in the final.
What was that?
Gerwyn Price beats Michael Smith in the final.
Gerwyn Price beats Michael Smith in the final.
Yeah. Smithy will get there, pick up another point along the way. But Gezi finally, in a last leg decider, beats Smith instead of losing to him every single time in a last leg decider like he's done throughout the tournament so far.
Right. Well, here's a rogue one for you.
It can't be more rogue than picking Price to win a night.
Rob Cross beats Luke Humphreys in the final.
Okay, then. That is more rogue than picking Gezi to win a night. I think you have out-rogued me there at the end.
Yeah, I think that's that is rogue, but I believe it deep down. Let's see where we're at.
You sound like you're trying to convince yourself there, Dan.
Let's see where. Honestly, I feel confused after even picking that. Marky's gone Humphreys beating MVG in the final. Daz has got Littler beating MVG, and we've got another pick for Humphreys. Behave yourself. Humphreys wins over Wright in the final. Right, we do have a troll in the chat room. We've got another one. Dougie's gone cool hand Luke. He's got Humphreys beating MVG 6-4. And with that, I'll try and bring the show to an end for a second time, this time not prematurely. Thank you all very much in the chat room as ever. For those of you who are listening along as an audio podcast, thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you again to our title sponsors, BetMGM. They will be back on the stage next week, a little bit more visible. Don't forget, you can get double your odds on Premier League darts on a Thursday night. Please do remember, as ever, to gamble responsibly. Be gambleaware.org. With that, I will thank you all very much in the chat room. You make this show far more fun and interesting, getting involved with your predictions and opinions. Thank you very much, Cam. We will be back next week. I think it's me and you, isn't it? Next Thursday.
Me and you again. We're back to it's been us for most of the year. We might as well carry it on, haven't we?
We've had a good cycle this year, haven't we? So we will bring that show to an end, and we'll see you all very shortly. Thank you all very much, and good night.